there we go. I'm gonna double check it on our ends just to make sure everything is working. But yeah, we should be good to go. I have some questions for you today, more or less, and the audience because you're my magic person, and I have some questions for you. This is more in your
Right.
ballpark field, and I didn't want to give you a heads up on what was going on because I wanted your straight up uh, opinions. So give me a second. Wife is bothering me, but it's a good bother.
No worries. Well, right, right. It's always a good bother. Okay, I actually need you over there. It's distracting. There we go. Then I can't see messages until I look over there.
So yeah, we have some questions for you, and specifically, this is a question that I wanted to pan to you and everyone else that's out there because there's so much talk to this day. People are like, Magic is dying. Magic hasn't died. People have been saying it's dying since 2000. It's still here. Uh, we briefly talked about it last time, but my audio wasn't working correctly, which I do need to go and check real fast.
Yeah, I should double check, make sure my audio is still correct as well.
Yeah, let me double check audios real fast before we dive completely into this. Because last time audio had problems.
Hooray!
Um, so yeah,
I'm actually not very good at looking into the camera and talking to people.
me either because my
So,
camera's up here.
yeah,
It's
mine's right there.
yeah. That just means you have to look at your computer. Mine's above my computer. Mine's like up here, so I have to
No, no,
look up.
I cannot. I can see the colors. I can kind of make things out down here, like peripheral, if I'm staring directly at my camera. It's not like I'm looking at my computer.
Um, Let me see. Your volume's up all the way. Okay, cool. I still have you, so we're good. What I want to do is kill this fan though because I'm
So
getting a
having
reverberation
you
from
on
it.
this screen over here. Chance, where are you going?
I'm coming. I was just shutting the fan off because I have a little bit of foof 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 in the background that I don't like.
Having you screen next to me here,
Uh huh.
I think gives it better perspective from here because it's like I'm talking to you.
Yeah. Well, you're here, like like we're talking across the table, and also to them. But you've heard, and everyone else has heard, that magic is dying for forever. Everyone said that for I don't know how long, right? I wanted to take your perspective on it, but before we get your perspective, I wanted to tailor specific questions to you before you start giving me answers. Good?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, so first off, do you think Magic the Gathering is judged by the same standards as other card games?
You're talking about like prices, gameplay, rules,
I'm talking about in all
or just
regards. I'm
overall.
talking about all regards. The way that fans view the products, the way that fans view the companies, all of that. Is Magic treated on the same playing field as every other TCG that exists or has existed that died? Because according to everyone else, Magic is God.
We look down on all you other little creatures.
That's
Sorry,
why
it's really it is like, especially Yu-Gi-Oh. You suck. Anyways,
I'm gonna make you
no,
open Yu-Gi-Oh products one day.
I refuse. It's not that I refuse. It's a very toxic game style. I've seen people at my game store play it, and a lot of the Yu-Gi-Oh players uh, that come and play are not the best at hygiene. They are probably some of the worst at hygiene I have ever met as far as any game style. Like, I see people come in and play Pokemon, it's usually kids and their parents. There's some adults, but they're like super clean, right? Magic
Hmm.
players, there are some stinky ones. It happens. But usually they're people that make a lot of money, people that have to stay clean and wear deodorant and work, you know?
Yeah, and we see it in every. You're just saying it's more prominent there, but we see it in every field, too. You don't. It's not. It's not just in that one. It's just you're saying it's more prominent there, but in the aspects of the way that we treat other card games, specifically, oops, bumped the
They're
desk.
lower. They're lower.
It
They're
feel
definitely
it
lower.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to ask you without any context and you not knowing what was coming because so you wouldn't prep for it. Exactly what you did. You are lower life forms, and it really feels that way. It feels like everyone that is a Magic player basically judges everyone that plays any other game, and if you don't play Magic, you're literally a lower life form when it comes to the
Well, I don't
TCG
know
world.
how 100% true it is, but Magic's one of the first card games that had a system that other card games had to base off of.
And I'm not dissing on Magic. It's true. A lot of games are based similar to Magic, or the theory of trading card games come from Magic. But I
Yeah,
don't
I'm
think that.
saying because of that basis,
Hmm.
you're all just spawn. You're lesser forms.
And that's how
Now,
it feels
Magic's
like.
not perfect. They have one of the biggest ban lists of card games,
Okay, but
but
that's exactly what I'm talking about. The ban lists, right? If we look at what Magic has done and all the mistakes that they've made, if any of the newer TCGs were to make half of those mistakes, they'd be out of production.
yes and no. Yes, it would be a threat when Magic is like, "Oops, we'll make it up to you next set," and then they don't.
But see, if let's just take one of my games, Flesh and Blood. If Flesh and Blood was to make a big mistake, say, "Oops, we'll make it up next set," and they didn't, they'd be gone. And Magic does it repeatedly, and it feels like that Magic, and everyone goes, "Oh, it's because Magic's been around so long." But if they've been around so long, why do they keep making the same mistakes, and then everyone just doesn't judge them accordingly? Like that's really what I want to know.
It comes down to we just want to build and play. Even if they screw up, at least that set had 5 good cards. We'll buy them and still play.
Yeah, and I think that's amazing, and that's awesome that that's how Magic players are. But it's so much harder with
It,
newer TCGs because if they make those type of mistakes one, two, three times in a row, they're gone. Like,
it's the inventory.
yeah, you guys
The,
have a huge
Magic
inventory.
the Gathering has so much cards and products to still choose from, buy, deck build, and play that it doesn't matter if they screw up, they still have so much of that backing for people to still join and play.
Right. But because of that, do you think that Magic is somewhat treated, as you said, you are lower life forms? Magic is treated better because they've been around longer. Not necessarily better, but they've been around longer. And because they have, they get treated with more respect. They're not the new kid
They
on the
focus,
block.
yeah, they focus on what makes them great and ignore all the stuff that's the problem currently.
And
Like Hasbro recently, and I know it's mainly Hasbro. People are saying Wizards of the Coast, but it's mainly Hasbro. They're laying off like 1,600 people in the next coming months.
that's yeah, I've heard some rumors of that too, and I didn't do a lot of digging on it, but I heard that it was like 1,000 people's, and I heard that the D&D section took a huge hit.
Mainly D&D, yes. D&D stands on its own 2 legs. They can literally never produce any more content, and we, the players, will keep producing the content.
Yeah, we don't need. It's not like Magic the Gathering, but even then, you guys could create cards and play.
Yeah, the only thing stopping us from creating our own cards and playing. Oh wait, nothing is. Um, we still create, like, there's cubes. Like I recently played in a cube where you start off with a certain number of coins. you pay the coins in to upgrade these pre-existing cards to better versions of themselves. Like people are already making their own versions of cards, and some are just making flavored cards based off of TV shows and animes that they like.
Yeah. All right, so that brings me to another really good question. If you guys are making your own cards, and Magic does eventually, let's say, get its final nail in the coffin and die, does that mean the death of all TCGs? Because I've heard people saying that if Magic were to go under, all TCGs would basically go under with them.
No, because here's the thing. What we're talking about is if Wizards of the Coast goes under and they're no longer able to produce cards because of their screw ups, right?
Yeah.
Us as players will keep printing our own stuff, and maybe even those proxy sites would be making a lot more money.
Okay, that's another topic. Since you brought it up, we're here. Proxies. Do you think that Magic should be able to basically say you can't print proxies like they have done to some of these proxy sites?
You need to own your cards. You need to have the shiniest version of your cards. Because how are you a Magic player without showing how much money you've spent? Is kind of how I used to think. Now I don't give a. Now I don't give a fuck. I I had to sell all my cards to pay rent because I lost my job. I was out of work for a month, and it hurt. But then I started printing off FedEx, cutting my own cards and putting them with Pokemon energies as the backing so that they would feel and look like real cards. And like just from playing in a sleeve, nobody knows they're fakes.
Right.
And nobody cares. In the most competitive version of Magic, and some will argue that, oh, it's standard, oh, it's modern, oh, it's. No, CDH. Competitive in the name, competitive EDH.
Just call it Commander. Let's just.
Oh, no, it's. I hate this version of Commander. I play a high power casual. My stuff is not CDH, but it can hang with them, but will not win.
It's like I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
Yes, and then when I'm playing in a casual group that's high power, they're not there for a good time, but but anyways, that aside, we digress. Going back to proxies.
Right.
In a tournament style, cash on the line, CDH tournament, you are allowed, as long as the art exists, proxies of cards to play.
That's a big deal. I don't know how you feel about that, but that's a big deal. Allowing proxies into some type of a tournament. And I don't know if that's on high end. Is that on high end or not?
What?
Tournament wise. Like, is that personal shop tournament wise or bigger, like, prize pool tournament wise?
I don't know about WotC, Wizards of the Coast, for those who are unintelligent.
I'd be one of those.
Yeah. I don't know about WotC ran events, but any other like store ran events, they don't care. Like you've seen people play proxies at Magic events, the staff does not care.
Yeah, it's not. I need a mint 10 Lotus in my deck so that I'm a real player.
You can run it as long as it's a pre-existing art. It looks like a real card and it's pre-existing and you're not selling it to scam people and you're just doing it to play the game. Nobody's going to give any of these.
Okay, so with that being said, with the topic of Magic dying or potentially dying and being treated in the same respect of other card games, does that have an impact on Magic's life?
Magic the Gathering will never die.
We know that.
The company hopefully will, and hopefully soon. I'm so
I
sick
did
and
not
tired.
expect that.
I'm so sick and tired of the BS of Wizards of the Coast. They've 5 times their budget, or five, not their budget, their profits multiple years in a row, and they still want more money.
At some point, I never loved that business model of any business. Everyone says if you want your business to grow, you have to keep making more money. At some point, you just need to continue to make that much money. Like, everyone's like, that's not a good business plan. It's like, yes, it is. If you can house an. What?
When you're the top,
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good
even if
point.
other TCGs come close, you're still the top.
I love that. When you're the top, you can just stop. Yeah, but it's true. At some point as a business, even in the cardboard world, you have to realize, okay, how many artists do we need to continue to print sets? How many people do we need to continue to do that? How much money do we have to feasibly make to keep them all employed? And at that point, we need to make some profit every single year so that we can put money towards if we have a bad year, we can continue to pay them in the future. You looking at that, you have to only go, okay, well, we just need to make this much money. If we make more than that, cool. That's a good year. Everyone gets bonuses. Everyone gets new cars. Like, that's what I would do if I was a business owner. Like, seriously, if my business had such a booming year, I'd be like, everybody gets cars. Everybody gets a new car. We have enough money saved up in the account, and everyone's like, you're going to pay so much taxes on that. It doesn't matter. Like, you just need to make it. Once you've made it to the point where you're like, oh, we can every single year, without fail after taxes, we're able to store $2 million in the bank that can just be used to keep us afloat if we hit, I don't know, any type of hard time. Like, and our people have job security. To me, that's a good business model, and I think that Hasbro's should have, at some point, as you said, they're at the top, they should have just leveled and been like, we're making enough money. There's no reason to hire new people. Maybe we look for new artists here and there that some want to go venture out and do new things. That's fine.
Yeah. No, the current CEO of Hasbro got his position because they gave him 5 years to double the profit, and he did it in 2.
And then we've seen what he's done in the last 2.
Yeah.
See,
slow down, guys. Just slow down.
If you have
You're
5
fine.
years to double your profit, take the 5 years. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe do it in 4, but take the 5 years.
Yeah. We went from secret layers being rare and wanting to collect to there's one every single month, and they get worse and worse, and sometimes there's a good one and then they get worse and worse.
Honestly, me and you could double Hasbro's profits in 1 year by just simply printing a really good set, making it a very limited print run, stating the fact that it's a limited print run, and then that's it. Like, you constantly do what old Magic was, which is you have a few sets a year, you keep to those sets, and you do it how you're supposed to. You double their profit and then just border out and leave it.
Other card games have figured that out.
Yeah.
That's why they're still alive and kicking, even though they don't seem popular.
Go
check your local game store. Tell me that they have Flesh and Blood.
Weiss.
Tell me that they have Weiss. Tell me that they have Vanguard.
Dragon Ball.
We know they have Magic. We know they have D&D. Yeah, tell me if you see Digimon there. Yeah, tell me if you see One Piece there. Tell me if they have Dragon Ball.
Better
and
yet,
if they have all of those, then tell me that they have sorcery.
And then, if they have that, ask if they have any Force of Will. If they have... Yeah, they don't. I'll tell you they don't. But Force of Will, and we talked about this last time, but we had mic problems. Rudy talked about it, and I wanted to bring it up, because Force of Will, he says, is still printing cards today, and it supposedly died back in 2000 or something. Like, whenever it died. And they're still printing new sets today. Now, granted...
I don't think they died. They retired. They found a way to keep money rolling in.
They hit the top. In my opinion, Force of Will is above Magic because they found a bar, they met the bar, they can hire artists, they can pay those artists, they can pay the people on staff, They can sell enough product to continue rolling out product and make enough money that somebody and all of their families are taken care of. Even if it's 25 people, that's 25 people that have job security.
Yep.
And that's worth more than what Hasbro is currently doing.
Hasbro doesn't make any money on D&D. It's our shit now. Hasbro hasn't really made money on board games in a long time.
Should I go get my entire stack of books over there? The original books that my uncle gave me that are like 1.0 or 1.5. I think it's 1.5.
Yeah, like 5th edition was by far, as inclusion goes for new players and stuff, their best edition.
By far, a lot of true old D&D fans will say that the best edition of D&D, and this turns into a war field. I'm not saying which is my favorite edition, but players...
3.5?
What?
You saying 3.5?
That's what a lot of players say. Their favorite edition of D&D is 3.5. That's the best years of D&D that has so much more in depth to it. You have so much more character creation and building. I played in 3.5 back in the day, and when I played, I was a wee little dude. I was like 8. So I've been playing D&D for a very long time, and I'm 30. So I've been playing D&D longer than some people have been alive right now that are trying to play. Was I good at 8 years old? But I've been rolling dice since I was 8, and I've been hooked ever since.
But yeah, Hasbro doesn't have control of that. They tried to make money. Community lashed out back at them. They've taken a step back. They don't really make too much money on board games. People only buy board games when a pandemic hits or they need to replace theirs.
You want to know what Hasbro should have done to continue to make money on D&D? Is literally print extensions of monster manuals. You have the first monster manual, then you have monster manual 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, where they just expand on the different monsters, different trolls, and you literally can have a monster manual that's all catered to like forest creatures, monster manual forest monster manual, mountain monster manual, cave monster manual. You print these and you take special art types and create a true like monster manual thick book like the one they currently have, but based around all of those different types of terrains, you would sell every book you have. I'd buy a forest, I'd buy a mountain, I'd buy all of them. Swamp terrain, like, yeah, I might have some that are in forest that are like a twisted version of the forest one, but it's still a better creature than I might be able to come up with on my own in a quick amount of time. Now, granted, I could probably come up with something that's crazier than what you're going to put in a book. And in essence, that's actually how one of the creatures in D&D, little off topic, came about. It's called the Bagman. It's not actually a character with stats, but it exists. And the players, the player basis, have created it called the Bagman. And you want to know...
I heard something.
You want to know what it does?
Oh, I know what it does. We talked about this. What does it do?
The Bagman exists in every bag of holding. And he crawls his way out and snatches someone of the party and drags them in. And there's different versions of him every single time. But it's in that instance of magic and everything else, of companies doing these type of things, that they need to stick with what's profitable to them rather than trying to get us to make content for them and us to pay them to be like, oh yeah, I want the rights to do that, when we're already doing it anyways and we don't have to pay you for it. Like, make a product that we want to buy.
How well are they doing with their minis?
Who?
Wizards of the Coast. Hasbro.
I don't... I know they make some, but I wouldn't buy them. I would literally go to a third party of someone who's making something, 3D printing, some other type of modeling, or something else.
Look. They do make money off of their minis. I'll give you that. But ever since 3D printing has gotten so huge, and they found ways to 3D print even better, people will rather spend money on a 3D printer, go to Hero Forge, and print their own stuff.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And not only that, there are so many websites out there where you can find free models. Like there's someone that just made goblin models. I know there's like 5 of them, and you can, and they're all different. There's 5 different goblin models. It was like 99 cents, or some of them are even free. You could print all 5 goblins, and I think it was like 4 hours, 5 hours for all 5 goblins to be printed, depending on what type of printer you're using. Resins are always faster than extrusion, but why am I gonna buy Wizards of the Coast minis when I can do
When
that?
you can literally take out the middleman and place it in your bedroom,
And that's
in your garage, in your living room.
and to some degree, to get back on topic from where we're at, that's what you're doing when you print off your own decks. You're taking out the middleman to have to buy $700 worth of cards and making your own. Now, granted, you might not be able to go to a tournament if someone bans something, but you can play with all of your friends and not have to spend a dime besides $50, and you can have.
That's really what it comes down to it. The reason why I play a ton of Magic is we're all on board, we're free, let's play.
And why would I pay $700 if that's what I want to do when I can pay $50, have 5 to 6 decks, and play, and they can do the same thing, and we don't have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars?
I can break down your price, my price for you. A fairly cheap deck box runs me $3 to $5. Sleeves up to $10 to $12, right? So that's about $20.
20 bucks.
And then another 8 to 10 to print them out.
So for 30 bucks.
Every game store has infinite amount of energy Pokemon tokens, and they want to get rid of them, so they're free.
Yep. So for literally 30 bucks, you can literally have a brand new deck.
Yep.
And you cannot buy a competitive Magic deck for $30.
No.
Even the
my decks have thousands of dollars of what would be real cards.
So
because they're supposed to go in the deck. They're supposed to go there.
yes, honey. Let me go help her, but keep everyone entertained for a second.
So, anyways, yeah, it's obviously competitive players are going to print out the most competitive decks. You obviously don't want that because it's just nasty, and everyone's just going to play the archetype. But for someone like me that likes to take an idea of a card, go build it my own, and like maybe even choose different cards that some people say suck, but I just like playing them. I'll play a little bit more jankier to have fun than to win. And so I'm not printing off CDH decks just because I can, because they're expensive and I make them cheap and free. I'm printing them off to have fun. I see an idea, I want to do it, I want to play it as soon as possible. And call it impatience ADD. I just say, I can't even pay for a $20 card.
Like streaming live?
Yeah, we're live on YouTube.
Oh, cool.
You want to
Hey,
say
what's
hi?
up? My name's Jared, 19, never learned how to fucking read.
You're a butthead. That's my wife. She's being facetious.
She's being bodacious.
I'm being...
Facetious.
Bodacious.
She said she's being a little shit, but I don't know what she's going to say, so I keep muting my mic just in case she says something that's inappropriate.
Hey, that's recorded abuse. All 0 viewers on the Twitch side. You.
What?
Did you mute
No, I muted after that. You got that one off, you butthead.
Sorry, Chance, we can barely hear you. You keep cutting in and out.
Sorry, it's because I'm trying to dodge her.
Her words.
Yeah. I saw that. Go on.
On her stream?
I read that.
That's not allowed.
Just because you're streaming the...
We're just talking about cards.
It's fine. We'll edit this part out.
No, we won't. It'll just stay there. It's
Is
the
it gonna-
funness of
so
being
is-
real, not being fake.
So is this gonna be on the YouTube still? Like,
Yeah,
is it
no, it's
gonna-
live on YouTube.
So whenever you're done,
It'll
gonna
stay live, yeah.
Sweet.
Now don't misbehave.
I'm not. I'm just seeing what all of my stuff is.
I may have
on
already
camera.
misbehaved.
Ignore the meds. I'm mentally ill.
Yeah.
Please,
Ignore
everyone's
the
gonna love me in my
arrow.
room. Where's your wife? She's so funny.
Like, come here, let me see you real fast.
No, I'm
I
not.
just want your arm.
I am not putting my
I
face
just
on
want your
things.
arm. She is a Stitchy. Now go
Yeah.
away. Yeah, there's also a hair move so I can show. There is a Stitchy. There is a Stitchy head. And
No
then there,
worries, guys. All actors in here have been paid.
He's my dude.
there
and he
is a
keeps,
Stitchy.
He keeps me sane. What can I say?
That's my job, is to keep you sane.
Not you, Stitch.
Oh, hi, Willow. And then this is my fur baby.
Aww.
This is my little butthead.
You got a big butt head and a little butt head.
Yeah. I have actually 5 little buttheads.
What does that mean?
Nice.
Not by
Nice.
my will. I only have the one otherwise.
Just to get back on topic, magic is best. Magic will never die.
Even if
Some of us work for the destruction of Watsy.
some of us work for the
It didn't hurt. I was just trying to catch my breath because I was getting ahead of myself.
It hurt a little.
Nah. I would end up creating my own cards, and we've talked about cards. Like, we came up with one today, just chatting.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about it.
We're
'cause
not
if
gonna.
One day, if we can create our own vampire set, it'll actually be a good vampire set. And we may even do the community a favor and make a good
Vampire.
werewolf.
You know what? We could actually make a good werewolf vampire fight set.
Yeah, so they're supposed to both be good.
Yeah.
Vampires are good. Werewolves keep struggling.
Yeah, it's like.
Yeah.
Um,
You should, like...
you know what?
Whatever.
You know what? For funsies, we are gonna sit down. It'll take
Sit
a
you
long. It'll take a long time, guys, but we're gonna do it.
Sit down.
Me and Jones will take a long time. Yeah, further. I don't think I can do that. My chair is pretty much bottomed out. Yeah, because I have a 6-foot chair. I can only go up. I wanted a really tall chair so I could dangle like a child with my feet if I wanted to.
I can't.
But anyways, we will sit down, and me and Jones will figure out what the standard cards for a set are, and we will make a true vampire werewolves set of cards. We won't do the art for them; it'll be stick figures. But we will write all that on the text boxes and name all the cards. See if we can get Hasbro to print.
Yeah, like Unlikely Ally, I think is an actual card, but you give that to a vampire and werewolf. You can make a vampire werewolf deck that actually works together.
And then make hybrid werewolf vampires like some of the movies that have been out where they're super overpowered. I see what you... Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, my mind instantly went to Twilight. And it's like, there's no hybrids.
We could literally name one called Sparkle Vampire.
No, it will be a type of foiling.
That's the funny thing is, like, we can make jokes about some of the mistakes that Magic has made. And they're jokes. People laugh them off and they continue to go buy Magic products. But this is what I have problems with is it's a joke. And it is laughed off, and then we go back to basically worshipping the ground Hasbro walks on. Or Wizards of the Coast, or whoever prints Magic. I know it's in that realm of department.
Every once in a while, they actually make a good set. Like Caverns of Ixalan. Good set.
But
we forgot that there's been so many terrible sets previous to it. And he's gone.
sorry, otherwise that was going to keep ringing for I don't know how long. But yeah,
Somebody calling?
no, it's the timer. I got to give the baby kittens their medicine because they got an eye infection. So
Yeah.
put it on snooze, get to it as soon as we're done. But
So then let me bring it back to you,
okay,
because I know we've kind of had a discussion, right?
right.
What are your thoughts?
My thoughts is Magic is treated so much better than and remember, I'm an old Magic player too. You took cards from me, old cards, and from my brother. We got you some of those older cards, and I gave some to other players and sold some to the shop. I'm an old Magic player, and I feel like Magic is not where it was. If we look to the past and where Magic is currently, Magic has totally changed from what I know and what you know it as. From when we used to play younger, remember, we're 30, I'm 30, I know you're not quite there, but when I was in my 20s, and when my brother was in his 20s and he's 6 years older than me, we were playing in the early 2000s, my brother was, and could remember buying Mox Opals and things like that that are important to nowadays, like cards and having the dual lands and stuff that are expensive as all get out. I think that Magic is treated so much differently because it's been around so long, which gives it a lot of credit. But when you diss on another game that makes the same mistake Magic makes, and they're like, well, they should have learned, but Magic gets a pass because they've been here longer, even though they've done that mistake 4 times in the last year. And my card game that I play just made that mistake because they're still new to navigating their own personal market, which is an actual thing. The market that I have is different than your market. I maybe look at the mistakes that you made, but I can't foresee how my market's going to be impacted by what I print or what I do until I've done it. And then by then, it's too late. I can't take it back. I can't say oops. And you can be like, well, Magic already made that mistake. You should have learned. It's like, I did learn from that mistake. It would have been worse if I didn't do what I did, but I still didn't catch it in time, realizing the repercussions it was going to have. And because of that, I feel like people are like, oh, Magic made a mistake? It's okay. We'll still buy your product. And I'm like, are you really kidding me? Like, I love Magic too, and I still like buying and opening a pack of Magic every once in a while. But it's that mentality that really irks me about Magic players.
Yeah. That's good. That's good to know.
But I do love Magic too. It's not like I can't say that I don't like Magic. I do. I still play Magic. You have my only commander deck that I actually like with you because I gave it to you so you can play it because I don't have enough people to play with down here.
On a quick side note, it is currently my only deck with real cards in it, besides the commander. Because the commander is so stupid expensive.
Right, because my deck is Markov. Which is why we would say we'd create a Vampire Werewolf status, because I love vampires, always have. Vampires have been where I got into the game way back in the day. There's a Mythic in there at one point that was like $45 when she first hit the market, and I opened her up, and everyone wanted to buy it off of me, and I'm like, no, it's my vampire girl. She's mine. Back off. And then she dropped like 2 months after that. She dropped down to like $10, but everyone wanted to buy it like crazy, and I'm like, no, I want my vampire. So I love vampires. I still like playing Magic. I'm not going to say I don't. There are certain things I don't like about Magic. I just don't like the way that the Magic players treat other card game players and how they treat other card games. That's what I don't like. Yeah, I'm looking at you.
We will treat you how we wish you to be treated.
And that's where I feel like, and it's really rough sometimes when they're like, well, just go play Magic. And I'm like, I just want to clock you.
Look at me.
I'm looking at you.
We've always been the captains.
I'm the captain of Luffy's ship. I'm the captain!
It's funny that you bring that up, that just everyone in that crew is actually the captain, but they all like following Luffy.
Yeah.
Anyways. Yeah, we look down on you. It's kind of hard not to. You play so much Magic, and it's so much fun. You play other card games, and it just doesn't quite feel like it lives up to your expectation of what's a good card game, because you're so used to playing Magic so often.
And see, that's the difference, is I don't play Magic as much as other people, and so when I sit down and get to play another game, I'm not so set into that mindset of, I've played so much Magic, it doesn't feel like Magic. Sometimes I literally, that's one reason I got into Flesh and Blood. It's one reason I got into Sorcery. It's one reason I like One Piece. It's one reason I like playing these other games because their mechanics are, and everyone's like, oh, it's just Magic mechanics. And I'm like, some of these are not Magic mechanics. Yeah, I see you over there. And that's why I feel like you guys mistreat us because you're like, oh, well, you have to pay resources, so that's just like Magic. And I'm like, yeah, I can find a board game that was created that you have to pay resources on before Magic came out. Where do you think they got that from? Like,
From Wizards of the Coast.
Monopoly! I gotta pay the money to collect the stuff! Like, we can do this all day. I don't like Wizards because and Magic players because of that. Like they're thinking Magic was the only ones that did that type of things. No, there were other games out there that you had to pay resources to do something. Magic just took that concept and put it in card games, and now everyone thinks because Magic does that, then Magic is the king. No, Magic stole from other games too. I can almost guarantee you. Now they have been around long enough, and they've created their own stuff that it's kind of theirs now. But I can bet you money if you could go back far enough in time, Magic stole some of its ideas from other games because that's how most games are created.
And next week on our podcast, we'll find out what games.
You gonna really go that far back and look? Man, I don't have the time to research all that. Not with how long it takes me to do research.
We'll come up with a few, and if we're able to play them, we'll play them. It may not be the next time, but it would be an interesting to look into. An interesting thing to look into. Like, either, for some reason, it turns out that you're wrong, and they were one of the first ones, and they're completely unique on their own. Cool, good for them. Yay, fantastic. In all honest feelings and opinions, good job. But if we do find those other games, like you expressed, I have a new argument for some of the most toxic Magic players.
Oh my! Now,
The first one to do it. Actually, let's go back 20 years.
Honestly, now you're curious. Like I might do the research this week because you're right. If I can find proof that there was another game that had a tap mechanic for some type of resource, and then even if it wasn't like a true tap land, it was like do this to collect this resource and then be able to play this card. If I can find that before Magic came out in some type of game, then I can literally go Magic players, shove it.
Hey, let's now start discussing how Mahjong is connected to
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
that game inspired this game, which inspired this game, which inspired this game, which the creator of Magic the Gathering was a big fan of. And there's a lot of similarities. Let's talk about that.
Man, if we could do the research, even if it's 2-3 weeks out, early next year, that would be a crazy topic. Because you're right, that would be like Magic players would hate us, other players would love us. It would be a war amongst war.
At least amongst my friend groups, they're huge board game players. And we have played other games as well, so it would be a fun topic for us. And we may even use it individually against other Magic players.
I would definitely use it.
Just imagine talking about like how you play Flesh and Blood. It's like, all right, I'm going to pitch this to get mana or get resources. Oh, mana, so like Magic. You
No.
go, actually, like, and then you knew a game before Magic.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It'd be so much fun. No, Magic was the first to do that. No.
Listen here, hotshot. You got a phone right there in your hand. You can look it up.
Look it up.
If we're right, you have to go follow, like, all of our social medias and share with everybody.
Yeah, that would be fun. But
Is it time?
no, she just wants her book so she can go read in the other room.
Bye, Momo.
Bye, Momo. Bye. Bye.
We're getting close to done. We can start wrapping up. But
you know what? I'm too curious. Keep going. Keep going. What year was Magic created?
Officially 1993.
Okay, 93.
The research is on.
No. Who's typing on a keyboard over here?
You are.
Okay. Who's dyslexic as all get out?
That's why I said it's on. It's a journey. It's a race, and I'm not participating. So we're gonna watch you run your laps as squiggly lines as possible, even though it goes in one circle. Hey, no, you passed the finish line. You just somehow ended up going backwards.
My dyslexic foot, and I'm bad dyslexic, guys. I know I've said it many times, but I'm bad dyslexic. I can read, I can write, but it's.
I don't mean like running backwards past the finish line. I mean like you just.
I did a lap.
Back.
Yeah.
No, you didn't do it. Like, okay, here's the lap. Here, show the screen, right? Here's the track. He goes, almost makes it, and then passes the finish line. I can make fun of him. He's my best friend.
He is one of the few people I allow to do that.
If I see you in chat because I know there's nobody watching or chatting, I will fight you. I will fight everyone in chat right now. I win. I don't know. Is there anybody in the chat in the YouTube? I haven't even checked. Let's see. Let's go here. I know as soon as I click on it, it's going to start playing one of your videos. Okay, we're currently live. And mute myself on the video because I don't want any repeat. Is anybody watching? I guess I'm watching. How sad. They're missing out.
Everybody's missing out, Jones. It's. I mean, we can wrap it up, but I am definitely gonna now. I'm curious because you're right. Like, it'd be a really interesting scenario if I can find some type of game out there that has a tap resource.
Games that inspired.
Oh, you're looking up that. That's not a bad idea either.
MTG. What card games, if any, came before it?
You are doing it. But yeah, it's. I mean, there's got to be something that came before it. I mean, if you think about it.
Look up Cosmic Encounter.
Cosmic Encounter?
Cosmic Encounter.
Ooh. That looks. I might buy that. That looks fun just looking at images of it.
Yeah, because I was reading this, and true to his form, only card collectibles that came before Magic was baseball cards.
I don't care about collectible cards. I care about a game that has a function that basically functions like Magic. Everyone says collectibles, yes, Magic is first. I get that. But I'm talking about the way that Magic plays. Is there some type of game that has a similarity to creatures and stuff like that? Not even creatures, just cost.
He said Cosmic Encounters he drew inspiration from when he was first creating Magic the Gathering. There's no other. Magic the Gathering is the first ever TCG CCG to have been created.
I don't care about TCG. I care about game that has a similar function, which I guess Cosmic Encounter would be that type of game for him then.
It's looking like it just from the images
Yeah,
alone.
1, 2, 3, 4. There's only 4 colors in Cosmic Encounter, but I don't know if those are players.
All right.
But yeah,
And then he added white, the worst color of them all. Anyways. This one has 5. It has green, yellow, purple, red, blue.
oh, I must be looking at a smaller
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of looks like he would have drawn inspiration. You got picture on top, tech boxes underneath,
Yep.
the name of the card, and then the type, and then you got what looks like stacks of mana.
Yeah, you have stats on the
Probably.
card too on the bottom. So yeah, it would be you have similar effects as to Cosmic Encounter would have come first, which is cool. Now you know where the inspiration is. Yeah, because the Cosmic.
Yeah, no, continue. I'm just saying we should try playing this game and then we can talk about it.
Oh yeah, I definitely will. It's $55 on Amazon. I might try to find some digital version for us to play. Yeah, we'll play it at some point in the foreseeable future, and then come back and talk about how Cosmic Encounters, how we can see similarities in cards and stuff like that.
One
So,
more.
One more what?
It's called Flux. Fluxx.
Flux? Card game?
Just another game. On the timing, Flux is likely wrong, but it could help with some of the newer sets.
I don't know when Flux
Flux
came. I've played Flux before, way back in the day. I don't remember how it plays, but I've played Flux. Just
card
looking at it.
game.
Yeah, it's just a simple
Okay.
like your normal standard deck of cards. It has its normal cards. You just play it out of the way it is. There's a couple of add-ons to it as well.
Okay. It just depends on when it came out. '97. So it could have been inspiration for some of those new sets, but definitely Cosmic Encounters looks like. Anyways.
Well, I may look up some way to play it. Maybe there's some virtual way out there to play it for fun that we can jump onto. I know there's a lot of things that are created with older games like that, and see if we can toy around with it. So,
yeah.
Because I'd like to.
Hey, it was good seeing you.
It was good seeing you, but I'd like to see how it plays out versus where maybe he pulled inspiration for some things. So, well, it was fun. It was a blast. I guess I'll catch you next time.
Yeah, and we'll get down the whole live video feed, everything. We'll figure it out. It'll be good. But until then, this is what we got. Deal with it.
How nice. If you guys stick around this long, whether it was live or not, we appreciate you. Hopefully, this becomes a reoccurring thing. I know we're going to try to shoot for every Tuesday and maybe every once in a while on Saturday mornings at some point, but we'll see how that pans out till we get this down pat.
Absolutely.
Peace. We'll see you on the flip side.
See you, chance.